So I'm sure everybody's dying to know how much you're supposed to tighten your bow. And unfortunately, I don't know what the answer is in a very decisive manner, but let me tell you what I do. This is how much I tighten my bow, and hopefully you can see. It almost looks like you can fit, you see the stick of the bow, the wood part on the left side from what you're viewing? That thickness of the wood seems to fit almost exactly in between the stick and the hair. You see that? Until you get to the bottom and the top. So it's almost like a really thin hourglass where the thinnest part is right at the middle. Now, why do I do that, you ask? This is the reason why I do it, is because when you're playing the violin and you're adding arm weight to your sound, which I discussed the difference between pressure and arm weight in a different video. You should probably watch that. You can probably look it up by typing in Ben Chan pressure weight is what I'm guessing. I've never looked it up. But, so when I'm playing, if I'm playing something very fiery, something with a lot of sound, I try not to ever put so much arm weight into it that the hair touches the stick of the bow. And the reason for that is because if you press down too hard, then you choke the string. You actually can choke the string where the vibrations of the string are not able to ring, and so then you lose the sound. So just for good practice measures for myself, to remind me not to put too much weight down, even if it's something very loud and tumultuous, even if it's chords, you don't want to be pressing it down so hard that it's going against the stick of the bow. And so that's kind of the reason why I only tighten my bow this much. I don't think you need to tighten it anymore. The other thing that's dangerous is if you tighten it too much, then the bow starts to warp. Now, I don't know if anybody of you have ever had your bow cambered, but basically what they have to do is, because your bow ends up with the wrong curve direction on the bow, they have to take a candle, and they take your bow and they put the candle underneath, and then they twist your bow back into its rightful angle. And so if you tighten it too much, then what happens is the hair is putting so much tension on this part of the bow that it causes the bow to twist. And you don't want that to happen. So particularly when you put your instrument away, putting your bow away, make sure that your hair is loose. And usually when I loosen it, I'll loosen it about to this point where you can just barely start to see the hairs come away from each other. So it's just very nice and loose, and that way you can preserve that curve in your bow and it doesn't put any undue pressure, particularly when your bow is just sitting around. Because your bow will sit around, you'll play it maybe for an hour, and then it's going to sit for another 23 hours. So during those 23 hours, if there's tension on the tip, then the wood will be twisted. So just be careful with that. So again, when I tighten it, I usually tighten it just about to the point where you can fit this width in between the stick and the hair. And then when I play, I try not to press down where it hits the hair. And that way I know that I'm not putting too much arm weight into the sound.